Good day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. And in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Ginyu Force in the Dragon Ball Legends meta and where they really exist on that meta spectrum. Now, I think what is so important to measure when we're comparing teams is the kit of those units. And when you look at the Ginyu Force, I think firstly, they perform very admirably for a sparking team. You know, they do their best. They try their best. They're a very, 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 very good sparking only team. But the thing is that nowadays a sparking only team is not really enough. The kits that units provide, the abilities that they have, especially ultra units, are consistently overwhelmingly good comparative to sparking units. If you look at the gimmicks that they apply to ultras, it really feels like they exist on a whole nother level. Each team almost has to be kind of anchored by an ultra, or that team needs to be kind of held with, you know, these incredibly strong kind of Legends Limited characters. I think for me, the real question is always not only are the Ginyu Force good, but what they represent in the meta. They are a sparking only team. I reiterate that again. They each are very, very, very solid by sparking standards, especially with their new platinum equip, the equip you can see on each and every single one of them. That gives them huge damage guard up, damage up, and everything like that. But there are a couple caveats. Because the platinum equip doesn't give them new abilities, they have some problems. Firstly, although having double tag units is fundamentally great because it gives you the ability to counter your units or your opponent's typing, they both also depend on constantly switching to enable certain bits and parts of their passives. The most obvious one of this is Jason Berta, who's also one of the better of the units. The thing with Jason Berta is if they don't switch, they cannot increase their special damage, and they cannot get the restoring vanishing gauge back. This is crucial because this is their whole gimmick. Their special damage is actually very good, but the thing is, by switching, you open yourself up to being comboed down by the enemy. That's ultimately one of the major issues. Their team outside of Captain Ginyu, who still has a little bit of work to do to guarantee his revive, doesn't actually have endurance. It doesn't have the ability to survive attacks over and over and over again. And this is actually a bit of a problem. See, when you have the Ginyu Force, when they are functioning as designed, they essentially live in this kind of space of being an all or nothing team. Either you are in the ascendancy and you can maintain your ascendancy, or they are not in the ascendancy and they very quickly can get blown up. Even the tankier sides of things like Raccoon and things like Captain Ginyu's got his revive are only really good for kind of once-off things. Raccoon will survive 1 or 2 combos. That's about it. Captain Ginyu, you can use his revive to eat one big super, to eat one big rising rush. But when you've got things like team revives now, when you've got things like units with multiple revives, when you've got things like ultras who all have endurance, the aspect of running a singular revive unit to try and hold down the line is very interesting because it's not really going to achieve too much. It's not really going to succeed. I think also when you look at their kits, there is a little bit of a lack of concern when it comes to healing. They are really solid when it comes to like giving themselves a bit of an up and see. You know, when you look at Raccoon, for example, he heals. When you look, for example, at how can I say, Jason Berta, they heal a little bit. Raccoon, gets a lot of health back. Gildo doesn't. Ginyu, a little bit of health back. And I think the thing is when you look at these guys, when you look at everything, honestly, they don't have outright huge healing. I mean, you look at the Planet Namek team, and with Krillin, and how he can heal up that whole lineup, how that whole lineup can just almost have an exorbitant amount of healing and just be like absolutely incredulously healed. You look at like how units can gain back, 5, 10, 15% HP by switching out, by using green cards. And the Ginyu Force doesn't necessarily have a lot of that. So they lose in a war of attrition. That's what I felt using them. They can do good damage, they can do good things, but when they get put on the back foot, recovering with them is quite hard. Definitely is quite difficult. But overall, besides that, I think they are pretty good. I think their biggest hindrance is that these units were designed to run with other Ginyu Force tag characters. And until the Ginyu Force tag gets some kind of ultra that's going to carry them, or maybe even at best a Legends Limited, it's going to be a difficult situation for them. With a Legends Limited, with an ultra, with things like this, they definitely 100% can be quite good. But they need an anchor point. These units are good. Gildo giving paralysis, the special damage on Jason Berta has been pleasantly, surprisingly good in most fights. And even Captain Ginyu, once he can get going, can be really, really top. But at the end of the day, without an anchor point, without a tanky unit, without a unit that does big damage, without anything to kind of really, really, really carry their team, it is going to be difficult for them. And because they need the Ginyu Force tag, you don't want to sacrifice that extra 20%, 10%, 5%, those extra percentage points that they're going to get from being on that tag. So I think when I look at things, I definitely feel like the Ginyu Force is a really fun sparking team, and you can definitely win matches with them, for sure. But it feels like if you are a good player who comes up with a Ginyu Force team, and you play against a good player who's not running the Ginyu Force team, he's running a team that's got ultras. Unless you're an excessively more skilled player, you just don't have enough tools to generally beat him. Like, that's honestly how it feels. It just feels like you just don't have enough tools to beat him, and that's difficult. It's really, really difficult to assess for the Ginyu Force. I think also it's more the question of when are they going to get that Legends Limited, when are they going to get that Ultra. But yeah, that's it from me. Bye.